Hey, Jack.
I'm gay.
Oh my god, that is so funny. I'm also gay. I was going to tell you.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
And you're listening to Dating Straight. Hey, Amy.
Hey, Jack.
Hey,
Beauty
Megan.
Dior.
Oh.
What's up? It's actually Alex, formerly known as Beauty Dior, you know?
Is Alex because you got hacked on Twitter?
No. So they just, in one of the emails, they just referred to me as Alex. And they were like, hey, Alex, here's the update. Right. And it was like,
yeah.
no one's name is Alex. And so then I decided to change like all of my social handles to like Megan Alex.
It's your drag king
it's
name.
It's a good time. Ooh, I love that. Oh, I need to come up with the last name too. I guess Alex Booty Dior is a pretty good drag name.
That is good.
I just want to do drag really as a man doing female drag. I don't want to become a man. I want to be Trixie. Like wait, I want to be a man being me. Oh, there is?
It's called I don't fucking know. Jack, what's it called?
Well, you think I know because I'm gay? Is that what you're saying?
Damn, Amy.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, I've done that before where I dressed up like Trixie. I had like the whole wig and then I went to WeHo and it was honestly the best night of my whole life.
I don't doubt it.
I met Adore Delano, just so happened to be there as well. I was like so thrilled.
Drag legend.
So
I love it.
Okay. So before we begin, rate, review, subscribe. 5 stars on the podcast app. Megan, if you were leaving a review, what would you say? I know you're a big fan of lesbians, so maybe we can start there.
I am. No offense, Jack.
Into that.
I know you are a closeted lesbian. I would say fucking 5 stars. If you don't leave 5 stars, you are a piece of trash and you're gonna probably die alone. But if you leave 5 stars, you will leave quarantine with like a healthy, stable relationship and a butt.
A butt?
I'm going to leave 5 stars.
I need one.
If I don't learn how to twerk by the end of quarantine, I'm gonna self-quarantine again until I learn how to fucking twerk. It's so hard. It is literally so hard, but I also broke my tailbone when I was like 10. So I think that like it's just not physically going to happen for me because like I can't move it. I can't.
Well, maybe you should learn how to death drop because if you want to be a drag queen, like that's the move.
It's like my search history. I might have watched a video on how to death drop and I just have really fragile knees and it looked like it was the whole thing was like, I was afraid for my like physical well-being.
Yeah.
I have also honestly been trying to twerk.
It's just so hard.
I think some people just have it and some people just don't. And I wasn't born with that. So I need to give up.
Yeah, no, I need to quit because I've never looked like I look white all the time because I am, but I've never looked whiter than being like I look like one of those things at a used car dealership that is like all one size. Like I don't have like a waist and hips. Like I am just like I am like Flat Stanley, and me twerking is the most unattractive thing in the entire world. And I was like, oh, this is awful. And my boyfriend's looking at me being like, ooh. And I was like, yeah, should I stop? Like this is not hot. Okay, for sure, for sure.
Oh my God, you are a riot. Okay.
Oh my God,
yes.
I was very excited to do this.
That's so
okay, well, I don't know how we seamlessly like move into this territory, but you have a book coming out. We want to give you the opportunity to like speak about that quickly before I dive in. Ooh.
Wait, should we introduce Megan before we even do it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Meghan Rienks.
Yay.
Megan, who are you for the people who may not know?
Well, I was relevant on YouTube in like 2015. It was like in the era right before the highly saturated videos and the Bethany Moda. I was like cool before then, and then they came in and took over, and then I just like fell to the wayside, and then I've kept like fallen down since, but I've stuck around. And yeah, I've been an internet person. I have a podcast too. You guys should come onto my podcast. We don't do 2 people at once. So if you have separation anxiety, I apologize, but you should come on to ours. It's a very good time.
It's okay.
And I also wrote a book. I'm an Amazon in film and arts humor bestseller for audiobooks for about 2 days.
Wait, okay.
Hell yeah, that's everything.
I also am an Amazon best-selling author, so it's very funny you say that. I'm actually, yeah, thank you.
Could you add me to the group chat? There's
What?
a group chat.
Oh.
Right? It's like you, me, Tyler Oakley, like who else? Like I feel like there has to be one.
Yeah, like Gabby Hanna, like all of the YouTube books.
I love it.
What's your
Jack,
book about?
you don't have a book. It's more of a pamphlet. Let's be real.
What's it a pamphlet of?
It was like 3 pages of
No, it was
science?
10. It was 10.
Okay.
And it was a math fill in the blank book. Basically for a video, I just wanted to see if I could become an Amazon bestselling author. So I wrote a book in a category that nobody writes books in, which was mathematics, weights and measures, so like conversions. And then I made like a picture book, but like I would just drew it on Google Drive.
Wow, so you're saying that I didn't have to do all this fucking shit and I could have been an Amazon bestseller.
I'm pretty much saying exactly that.
Fuck.
Okay, so you also have a podcast that you're talking about, and I've seen some of the titles, very raunchy, so we're excited to
demonetized as fucking hell. Story of my life.
Thank God. Because we sometimes I don't know, sometimes we're very PG, sometimes we are like completely X-rated. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm here and I have not been PG since I was like 8. So I can tell you where it will end up being.
Okay. Well, go buy her book. Because also
You're not
we
special.
all need. You're not special. We all need something to read right now in quarantine. So make sure to go do that. Okay, so we're a dating podcast. I don't know if you knew this.
I did.
So we want to talk about dating.
Oh my gosh, you're our first straight person on in like how long? A year?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you guys that. I was gonna be like, has there been anyone straight on? Like
honestly, the show started off as like us as your 2 gay hosts interviewing straight people to see like how different it was, and then it just so quickly evolved into just like some big gay podcast. So we haven't had a straight on since
Nick Vial, first episode. Nick Vial.
Oh my God, that is a straight man. That is like straight as hell.
Yeah,
and he
has essential
first
oils.
Episode.
It's very straight.
Yeah, his essential oils.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Okay, so just before this, you were saying that you have an obsession with gay culture and people. What? Why?
Well,
I mean, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, my best friend, who is a gay man, he has said that I just am like a gay man trapped in a woman's body. And I was raised, like, by my parents who suck, but also my godfather who's gay. So, like, I was just, like, his Barbie. So he used to put me in, I was, like, a very chubby kid, and he would put me in, like pretend Britney Spears outfits and, like, make me belly dance and do all of that kind of stuff. So, like, I just got into that whole world, like, where he'd, like, we're going to wear a bandana as a top. And I was like, I love it. And he's just putting body glitter all over me. So that was, like, my childhood. But I also grew up in Northern California, which is, like, so granola. So I was just very, I think I grew up with a lot of gayness around.
Yeah.
And
you
always.
were just born to serve. You were like serving left and right.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gone through a phase in my life, like even at like 5 years old, like a lot of my friends were gay. Like, and it was just like always a thing. But I think that's like hopefully becoming more normal, that kids are just out when they can, like when they're young and they can be. But I think it's also because I grew up in a place that they were like, yes, like if you came out, you were going to be prom king or queen. Like if you came out, like it made you automatically cool at my high school.
Yeah, same as mine.
Yeah.
So nice. Mm-hmm. Well, that's actually quite interesting because I feel like straight girls usually love gay boys, but it's interesting that you watch lesbian YouTubers. I feel like I haven't heard of that.
No, I don't even know how I stumbled upon I'm trying to think of who would have like.
Who all do you do you watch?
Oh my God, your like whole circle, like your whole crowd. Like I've literally, and like everyone, like I've like ended up watching videos of like, cause you know, when you get suggested something and you're getting all the other like popular videos, I've watched like just like girlfriend tags that have 10,000 views, maybe 5,000. And I'm like, I don't know who you are, but like, I don't know. It's just like sweet and cute. And I don't know. I'm always just rooting. I'm just rooting for everybody a little bit more. And I just, I don't need to watch like a lot of like, I don't know, like white straight people. It's just like there's like a high probability, not a high probability, but it's just more likely that I'm going to be like, oh, don't say anything problematic. Like, don't say anything bad. I'm like, oh, this is a safe place.
Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
nice. Well, I feel like, honestly, doing a girlfriend tag is like kind of the kiss of death. So I'm sure all those couples that you watch girlfriend tags
really?
with are over.
But it's just cute because they like pay attention to each other, and like there's like the stories that they have like is just so much cuter than like if I did a boyfriend. I've done a boyfriend tag with I had to get him drunk to do it, and he still was like, we're not uploading this, and it's him like grunting for every other answer. I'm like, this isn't cute. Like I want to watch someone who's like, it was like the moment you turned around and I just knew you were gonna be my forever. I'm like, oh, and it's just not straight people. And if they are, they're like 11 and Mormon. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I feel weird.
Yeah. Have you ever thought like maybe I'm something?
No, I always, it sounds dumb to say like I always kind of like wished I was. Like I think like that was like once you like date a lot of really terrible like dudes in a row, that's when you start to think, hey, maybe sexuality is a choice. And then you're like, oh, it's not a fucking choice because I wouldn't have chosen this or chosen this, whatever the correct English is. But no, I mean, I've like, you know, done like the very typical like awful thing that all high school girls do where they like make out with their friends, which I then now think about. I'm like, oh God, I feel like bad for any of like our friends who then came out like on in like the queer spectrum. Like we must have confused the shit out of you. Like I am so sorry that we were all like, yeah, let's all make out. And they're like, what the fuck does this mean? But no, I don't think so. I think of myself in the sense that like I'm straight because I've only ever like been attracted to dudes, but that also doesn't mean like maybe there's like a girl that like I think I would be totally into. I just haven't met her yet. My boyfriend would love it. He'd be like, go ahead.
Oh my God.
All about it. I'm like, okay, for sure.
So you're like, dare I say and dare I cuss, a little bit of a fag hag?
I have been told that. I've been told that. I mean, I won't say it about myself, but I will be more than happy if any member of the community wants to call me that. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I can agree. I just won't say it.
Yes. Well, welcome to the communities in a weird way.
I love it. I love it here.
Pause. Thank you so much, Postmates, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Postmates is my life. Postmates is how I stay alive, my nourishment. That's all I do. Even like before quarantine, I mean, it's gotten a lot worse since quarantine. I order Postmates literally all the time, love, because, you know, stay home. But yeah, if you're like me, you're thinking about what to eat for dinner literally while you're eating lunch. And that's why I love using Postmates. I love them even more right now because I get food delivered without leaving the house. And I don't even have to open the door for the Postmates anymore, which honestly, like I used to get so nervous to have that little bit of human interaction. And they solved that for me. They just leave it at the door. They ring the bell. And then I'm like, hell yeah, my food is ready. They also have Postmates Pickup, which I've been using to order takeout from my favorite local restaurants. And you do need to be supporting. This is like also how I justify ordering food all the time instead of like trying to cook. It is way better like for the economy and to support your local restaurants to be ordering food right now if you can and when you can. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of a superhero.
Yeah, and Postmates doesn't just deliver burgers for me or sushi for Amy. They actually make my life a lot easier by picking up everything from Walgreens to 7-Eleven and dropping it outside your door, which we all know, like right now, those are like the only places we can really go. And I don't want to be there, honestly. Yeah. So thank you, Postmates. So just make sure to download Postmates on iOS or Android, find your favorites, and get anything you want delivered within the hour. For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners $100 of free delivery credit for the first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use code DATING. That's code DATING for $100 of free credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it.
Highly, highly recommend. You know what else I recommend? Best Fiends, baby.
Yes,
Thank
love.
you so much, Best Fiends.
Literally. So obviously life is hectic right now. Sometimes you need to just take yourself out of the news cycle, not think about anything like stressful. But what you can think about is fun puzzle games. Best Fiends is a fun puzzle game. And they update it like every month. So there's always something new. And it starts off like pretty easy. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm amazing. Like I'm a freaking fiend. And then later it's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. But like, I will not quit because I have too much confidence in myself. At least that's my problem. But yeah, Best Fiends is a unique and exciting puzzle game experience, unlike other puzzle games out there. Best Fiends updates the game monthly with new levels and events. So it never gets old. And if you find yourself in the car or at work or wherever you have a few minutes, you can always pull out and play little Fiends.
He means in the car parked, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I meant like if someone else is driving you.
And
then there are always new monthly challenges and tons of characters to collect. So it's super fun and cute. And it's just a great game.
It's honestly like the game.
It's the only game.
I know we say that. It's the only game, and it's a great way to keep your brain active, but not having to stress about the world.
Yeah, it's not stressful, but it is like, it is thought-provoking.
Yeah.
So, Best Fiends has thousands of levels already, and with new levels, events, and characters added every month, it's hours of fun right at your fingertips, and you can even play offline. With over 100 million downloads and tons of 5-star reviews, Best Fiends is a must-play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends.
Thanks, Best Fiends.
Mwah. Okay,
so you have a boyfriend.
I do.
How long have you guys been together for?
Ooh, I think what month is it? May? I think we'll be 5 years in October.
Holy fuck.
I know.
Whoa.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
a long time.
Yeah.
And you guys like live together, I assume?
Yes, we do. He's currently going to pick up bananas because my friend accidentally bought 7 bags instead of 7 bananas. So I'm getting bread. It's going to be a
Sharing
good
the wealth.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So how has it been? Yeah, how has it been quarantined with someone that you've already been with for so long?
I mean, I feel like
I'd be like,
I feel like the asshole because I'm like, oh, we're like thriving. We're doing great. I think it's also because I am an extrovert who happens to work from home and is also like socially anxious. So like, I'm just like, I think the universe doesn't want me to, there's like no situation in which I'm going to be happy. And so I was like, but this works because I'm not home alone because I hate being home alone, but I also hate being out in public with people. So like it fucks me up. But now my boyfriend's working from home. So he's around all day. So I have someone to hang out with. So I'm getting more social interaction than normal, because I like never leave my house anyway. So I think that's been great. But also we're like big proponents of therapy. We go to couples therapy. So I think like any couple who hasn't gone through like shit or figured out how to like argue or figured out how to like coexist and live together and grow together, I could see how spending this much time together would make you murder each other. But like we're doing great. We're doing like, it's like annoyingly good. Like I constantly am being like, are you gonna get me pregnant during quarantine? And he's like, no. I'm like, are you sure you're not gonna try to get me? I was like, do you not want a baby? Like I'm at that level of being like, we're so happy, let's make a baby. And he's like, no, get away from me,
girl. But you are so young, like for
so
having
young.
a 5-year relationship. You're 26, right?
Yeah.
I'm 26.
So
It's crazy.
Like, what the fuck? I'm like almost 23. I've never even really had a boyfriend. Like, how do you know when you're ready to settle down sort of at that young age? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we were friends for about a year and a half first, and I had no idea if I actually liked him. Like I was like, I love unattainable crushes. Like I'm all about it, where I'm like, I'm gonna flirt with you, but you like live in a different like state, and like we're never gonna see each other. And he would like we worked together.
Lesbian.
Yeah, I know.
Does
sounds
it?
Real lesbian.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's very deep inside me. It just hasn't been unlocked yet. That'll be exciting in my 30s. I'd love that. I just start to live the L word. But it's like,
why do you know the L word? I haven't even seen the L word.
I've only watched like a little bit of the original, not the new one. But I don't know. It was like they had like it was like a pink font. It was very pretty. I remember at my VHS store, and I was like, ooh. And I think I watched like a couple episodes. I don't know. I mean, who knows how I ended up here? But oh no. So we were friends first. So I think because I had no idea if I liked him or not, and it like made us get a lot closer before. Because I'm like we've been dating for 3 months now. I hate you and I can never see you again. Like you're the worst. Like I want to leave forever. So I think this was like a good like way into it. And my longest 2 relationships have both been with people I was friends with first. So that was good. But I think also I dated a good amount I think I just I dated a good amount in like college and then out, and then I just did some stupid shit, and then finally I was like, oh my god, there's someone I don't hate and I like could actually spend more than a couple months with you. Like I think this is it. And then I also think in like the cheesy way, it's the person who like when shit's like not going well and you're like arguing and you actually want to solve it, versus like that's not I'm a ghoster. Like I'm a big like, ooh, I hate this is getting hard, like let me back away. And I was like, oh, I actually like want to work on this. I think that means I really like you. But wow. Yeah, it's weird to think that we started dating when I was 22 and I'm like 20. Like, that's so weird. I'm like, what the fuck? It's wild.
I'm also 26 and I just can't even imagine like having been in a 5-year relationship and being like, get me pregnant. Like I feel like
I'm also on my period, so
like,
that's probably why
out.
I'm saying that. I'm like, I have cramps and I'm like, I don't want to have this period again, but I'm also like hormonal as shit. No, I think like I'm also most of my friends now like don't live here, but a lot of my friends are in long-term relationships too. So I think that also helps me like think that I want a baby.
Yeah, no, all of my friends like from Sydney are married and having babies.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
In shock.
Yeah, no one's getting pregnant on purpose right now.
But so like you keep saying that like all your longest and best relationships have been with someone that you've been friends with. And Amy and I have talked about this before, where we're both kind of scared to like do that because like you risk losing a friend, right? So how do you cope with that, or how did you decide like that was like the vibe, that was the best thing in the whole world?
So I was terrified of it. The first time it happened, it was my high school boyfriend, and we were best friends. And we dated when we were in 7th grade for like a week, and then we broke up and we never spoke to each other again. And then in high school, we like rekindled. But no, it was definitely super scary. Like the first time, especially because also in high school, like your friends are your fucking life. Like that's everything. And as much as my friends are obviously everything to me now, you've got a job, you have other stuff, and also you don't necessarily work with your friends, whereas school, you're just surrounded by them all the time. So, I mean, I won't lie. We broke up and like are not friends, did not end on good terms. Like it was shit. Like it was awful. And it's also in my book. But it was brutal. But I think also when you get to the point, like, or at least I even did when my boyfriend's name is Mats. And when we started dating, oh my God, why is people texting me? I feel so popular. It's my one friend.
Ooh.
It's literally just one. He keeps sending me all of the screenshots from Trisha Paytas's OnlyFans and like does not give me warning, and suddenly it's just like full labia, and I'm like, which is like, I'm fine, I'm here to support it, but like I would just love like a warning. What was I saying? Oh, friend wise, but I made like a really long pro con list before we like even went on our first date. And I think he was really reassuring. I think if you want to date a friend, you both have to so talk about it together and figure it out, because it's also a good way to test. I'm like, are we that good of friends? Do we see each other as good of friends? Like, because was when he first made a move, I was like all offended because I'm like, I thought we were friends. Like, I thought you valued our friendship. And he was like, yeah, but like, aren't you into me too? And I was like, yeah, but like, I can't believe this. Like, we're friends. So it's hard. But I mean, yeah, if we broke up, I'd be like pretty pissed, but I'd figure it out.
You think it's like pretty definitely pissed? Worth the risk?
No, I do. I think it is. I think it just depends on, like what kind of friendship you have. Because I think if you've always been like flirty friends, it's a safer one. And him and I were always flirty friends. So like that was like a good indicator for both of us that because I also kind of think like my ego, I'm a Leo. I couldn't really handle if someone was like, yeah, like I never thought of you in that light until one day. I'm like, I'm sorry, you didn't meet me and you weren't like, wanna fuck her? Like that's so rude. Like, so I needed like that. Like I've always known he was into me kind of a thing. So that was nice too. But I think it's worth it unless it ends and then it's really bad. It's true.
But then it still is kind of worth it because otherwise you'd just be like, what if, you know?
No, 100%.
You just be flirty friends for 5 years and that just seems like a waste of time.
We were flirty friends for literally a year and a half, and all of my friends, we were like, you need to fucking decide if you like him or not because you are being so annoying and like you're not really dating other people. And because like when you're texting someone like you're dating and you just have that like person you're flirting with all the time, you're putting no effort out into anything else. And then you're like, well, why am I having this relationship with someone I'm not sleeping with who I have no idea if they like me too? Like, what the fuck am I doing? And so I like gave myself a time limit. And then in that time limit frame, I went to Vegas, you know, went crazy, and he went to Outside Lands, also went crazy, and then we like texted, and then I was like, guess it's happening, which was a good time.
Interesting.
So how did you confess your like for him or
No.
what happened there?
I let him do it. It's in my book and it's funny. He sent me, and this is how crazy straight people are. This is like the epitome of straight people because this has happened to me about 5 times. He sent me a screenshot of my own Instagram picture and just sent it to me. And I was like, yeah, I posted this. Like, I know, like I took it, I posted it today, and he was like, oh, you look so hot. And I was like, oh my fucking, like doesn't comment on it, like he didn't even like it. There was no red heart. It was just like, you know, the outline. I was like, are you kidding me? And he just sent it to me. And then I was like, okay. So that was like his way in. But that's happened. I've had that with a couple of other people I've like slept with or dated where they just send me a screenshot of my Instagram. And I was like, this is your in? This is your way to be like, you look hot.
Aww.
Like,
That's so romantic.
The straight love language.
It is. Yeah. Screenshots. It is.
Yeah.
Pause. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Is there something interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals?
I can't think
I
of a
wonder
single thing.
what they could be talking about. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. And at this time especially, I urge you all to try it. It is so important to be taking care of your mental health, especially now. And also from home, it's kind of the perfect thing right now.
Yeah, so true. And we've spoken about this in this episode a lot as well. We speak a lot about therapy this episode and the importance of therapy. And so there's lots of different things you can do on BetterHelp. And there's a broad range of expertise as well, which may not locally be available in all areas, which is nice. So you can just hop on and find someone who's good for you. For instance, my therapist that they connected me with, I asked for a gay therapist and they gave me one. And he was super awesome. He was super on top of it. Even when I necessarily didn't want to like follow up because I was kind of sad. But he kind of made sure that I kept on top of it, which is important, especially when you're doing online.
For sure.
And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches to make it easy and free to change counselors also if it's not a perfect match. It's more affordable than traditional therapy or counseling, and financial aid is available. 1 month of BetterHelp is the same amount as 1 session of my therapy, which is crazy. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily at betterhelp.com/reviews, and visit betterhelp.com/dating. That's better HELP, and join the over 800,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Once again, that's a special offer for dating straight listeners. Get 10% off your first month by going to betterhelp.com/dating. Treat yourself.
Yeah, honestly, give it a shot. Thanks, BetterHelp.
But I was watching one of your videos and you spoke about how you and your boyfriend's astrology charts are not compatible.
Yes.
And that's something that we talk about here sometimes. We like do tarot card readings and we kind of like vibe with that. So tell me, what are your findings?
Okay. So wait, what are your guys' signs?
I'm a Scorpio.
And I'm a Cancer.
Oh, okay.
But I do have to admit that literally last episode we was shitting on Leos.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
So
That's
sorry.
because Scorpios and Leos really like we're too similar, so we hate each other. We're like, ew.
It wasn't
ew.
me. Do
It
you
was
know
it was
who,
honestly me.
Actually, not to throw her under the bus, it was Elle Mills saying that she hates Leos. So
That's fine. It's okay.
That's
I
your
forgive you. But Leos are a lot. Like we're a lot. But so I'm very into birth charts. Not like, I mean, I do like my sun sign because as a Leo, I will say that we have the best sun sign. No Leo's gonna be like, no, this is the worst. So he's a Capricorn and we're so super different, but everything I've read about astrology, because I just use it for fun. People who are like, oh, this determines my entire life. I'm like, no, if I like hate you and then I find out that you're, no offense, a Scorpio, I just feel like validated. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I was right, but I'm not going to hate somebody because of their sign. I also have like a couple of friends now who are Scorpios who've like changed my mind. I'm like, okay, fine. But I just found out that like your whole birth chart and everything is just your like compatibility is just your first impression compatibility, and the kind of people that like if your chart is compatible or all of your planets and everything are compatible, it essentially just means like the people that you meet and you instantly vibe with, or you're like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you forever. Like, wow, we just really get along. Like we click instantly. And I've seen that a lot with people who are Geminis, because Geminis and Leos get along really well. And same thing with like Aquariuses, but Mott's is a Capricorn. So our entire chart is like a shitstorm. Like we are not supposed to get along or like each other at all. I think he's almost all of his planets are like in Capricorn. So I'm like, oh, cool, for sure. Like this is an intense person to date. But I think it's just like, helpful for like communication and things like that, and memes. I just think that like memes are the real reason why zodiac stuff is like fun. Like that's all I care about are the memes.
yeah, it's not like real.
No.
Really. Right?
No. And I like it better than like people who keep saying like, oh yeah, well no, you have to do like all the personality tests. And I'm like, yeah, but like it changes, depends on like how depressed I am that day. Like literally it's like, no, you're this so personality thing. And you're like, I've never picked, like if I have to choose my own, like, oh, what represents you? Like, what are you like? Like, what would you do in the situation? I'm like, it's never going to be the same every day. So I hate those ones. But astrology, I'm like, I can't control when I was born. It just happened.
Take the pressure off of me. Yeah. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like in charge of who I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is funny. I mean, I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't really know how much I believe in astrology. But then also, like, literally anytime I have a crush on someone, I'm like, well, better look up if we're gonna work or not. And then like,
no, it's fun. It's so fun. I love Cancers though. Do you know the rest of your chart, like what your rising and your moon is?
Yeah, I'm a Cancer, Sag.
What's the Sag?
And I'm
Sag is rising.
Okay, cool. What's yours,
I'm
Amy?
a triple Scorpio, so
what
watch
the
out.
Fuck, dude. Holy shit. That's a lot.
I don't know. I feel like I feel all right though.
Wait, no, but I have a conspiracy because Amy, okay, in Australia, allegedly they don't put birth times on birth certificates. And so Amy's mom is estimating her birth time. And
don't you think that she would remember?
No.
I don't know. She was pushing you out.
The birth of her child?
Time is an enigma.
Yeah. The social construct.
Exactly. And my mom, the same thing happened to me. My mom told me I was born at like 4:30 p.m. and I was a triple Cancer. And then later I checked my birth certificate and it was like 4:47. It was like 17 minutes later and I was a Sag. So you, Amy, how can we trust you?
Yeah, we don't know.
Well, so that just changes like my rising.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is I think it is your rising, and I don't think they say that that's like the least important part because it's like what you present yourself as, but you apparently are like the most straightforward, like who you think you are, and how you present yourself is all the same person. Like it's like all of it is the same. That's great.
I feel like that's kind of true. Yeah.
I feel like that's less confusing too. Like whereas I am a Leo sun, Pisces moon and Aquarius rising. So I present as like weird as fuck, and then inside I'm like sad as fuck, and then on like me like as my sun sign is like I love myself, and it's like a lot. Like it's just like all of it's jumbled up.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a lot.
Very conflicting.
Okay. What are some tips for keeping a long-term relationship? Because it seems like the gays, stereotype alert, gay men cannot do it, and lesbians do it too much, and then they fall apart. So what's the happy medium here?
Wow, coming to straight people for advice is the one thing we can do well. Only sometimes though. So I mean, I'm a huge proponent of therapy in general. I think individual therapy is great, but I think like living with another person and like having like a life partner or whatever you want to call it, I think is such unprecedented territory. And like it's something you don't necessarily know how to do. Like you either have parents or like caregivers who take care of you, but you're not, sucks to say, and most of the time you're not considered equal. Like they are the parent, you are the kid. So I think when we like grow up, at least for me, like I didn't know how to be in a relationship. Like I didn't know how to like communicate with my partner and do all of that sort of stuff. So I think therapy is fucking great. Like I'm obsessed with our therapist. I was like, should I send her a copy of my book? Like I just like, she's the best and is so fun.
I bet she would love that. That's sweet.
I feel like she would like it. But I just think that that's a great, even if it's not something that people like do forever, but just to learn how to communicate with your partner, because it's so, sometimes with friends and stuff like that, like if they do something that pisses you off or annoys you, you don't necessarily have to address it because it doesn't always affect you. Like it isn't always like pertaining to you exactly. But in a relationship, you take everything so personally. Like if they do something that like is like you think is like mean or like douchey or whatever, there's no way you can't take it and be like, oh my God, this is about me or any of that stuff. So I think it's really helpful to communicate. I think it's like a really good way to like force people to like talk about their feelings and that kind of stuff and learn how to, you know, have a long-term partnership. I think we've definitely been way better. Like we literally never fight, knock on wood, but like we never fight now that we go to therapy. Because also if we want to fight, we just save it for therapy and then there's like a mediator there. And I was like, oh, this is great. But yeah, it takes the ego out of it.
How long have you guys been in therapy?
Oh, like 2 years, I think. No, 3 I think.
Whoa. And like who brought it up? Whose idea was it?
We talked about it. Because we're just so, originally we thought we were so different, and our therapist was like, no, you're exactly the fucking same. Like that's why you needed to come to therapy, is because we just communicate everything so differently, and it's so hard when you communicate a certain way, you think it's the way to do it. You think that you're right. And then when someone else is doing it differently, like it just, again, there's no way for it not to like feel like a personal attack. But we were just not on the same page. And like not even like with life stuff, but like communicating wise, like it was just like hard. And I think that the thing I like tell all of my friends if they're thinking about going to therapy or they're talking about like the same issues that they're having, I was like, okay, so here's the thing, like there's totally some issues you can solve yourself, but if you've been trying and they're not solved, you would have already solved them by now if you could. And I think that's the great thing about therapy. It totally changes how you go about everything because like someone else is there helping you. And there's so many things that like, yeah, you wish you could get over, or you wish that like your communication would be better, but you're like, okay, well we both want this, but neither of us are like able to do it because we're just not able to like communicate well. And now we totally can. And it's so much better. And it's a great time. I love it. It's great.
Jack, let's go.
You guys should. I've actually heard of like podcast ones who like get podcast hosts who go to like couples therapy together. I was like, wow.
Just for an experiment or like long term?
No, like long term. I think because like they like probably like maybe don't get along all the time, or like they have to like make business decisions. But it's really like a really, really good way to like communicate without feelings being involved, which sounds weird because like you think therapy is all about feelings, but it's so much more constructive than like, oh, my feelings are hurt, let me internalize it and all of that stuff. And also if someone's being a dick, your therapist can be like, hey, that was kind of like a dick thing to say, and you're like, okay, I didn't have to say it, thank you, that was great.
Yeah, I feel like we do communicate really differently. I think I like crack under pressure and then I'll just like go off, and then Jack is just more normal of a person than I am.
Not normal.
So
it's not normal.
Just like relaxed, I guess. I crack.
We have different strengths and weaknesses, and I think that's what makes us a great
That's
team.
what makes a good partnership.
That's what I'm serious.
Yeah. It just is funny.
Okay.
I love therapy as well. Big therapy fanatic.
It's a good time.
It is good.
So pre-boyfriend, pre-long-term boyfriend, what did you like used to look for in someone, and like how has that changed over time, do you think?
So this is so funny. We literally were talking about this on our podcast a couple weeks ago so my type has always been the same, not looks wise, because my type is Michael B. Jordan and my boyfriend is white and looks nothing like Michael B. Jordan. And the only other celebrity crush I've literally only ever, I had Nick Jonas for a while, and then he never got taller and I did. And I was like, never mind. But literally the only guys I've ever, like the celebrities I've ever loved are Michael B. Jordan and Andy Samberg. Like, what the fuck is my type? Like physically, like, like what? Like it's I don't know. But I always was attracted to confidence. Like and I think that's the positive trait that I'm attracted to, but really I was always attracted to like cockiness. And I was very into guys who I like pretentious assholes was my type. Like guys who are like very intellectual and like were like, yeah, I'm like fucking smart and shit. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't go to college and I'm kind of like a dipshit, but I was always really attracted to that. But I think just as I've gotten older, and like now that Mats and I are together, he has all of like the positive versions of the traits that I was attracted to. So like, was I attracted to like douches, pompous, arrogant, like total like know-it-all thing? Yes. Can he be like that? Yes. But he's not like that loud version of that. Like he's like, he's hella smart, but he's not, doesn't have to be like the loudest, smartest person in the room and all of that stuff. So I think like your taste just gets like refined in what you like, and then you start to realize like, oh, some of these things are like hella fucking toxic. Like I used to love jealous guys. Like that was my jam. I was like, I need you to be so jealous. Like when I do anything, you're like, oh my god. I'm like, oh my god, you love me. And now I'm like, wow, I'm so glad he's not jealous. Like that's so great. Like you just grow out of that kind of stuff, because I think a lot of our types tend to be like from an insecurity standpoint, and we want like that validation and like that. And also my therapist says that the it's like the people you want like the ultimate like being picked in a kind of way, where it's like if you had like a parent who was like super like work focused and like never chose you, then you like end up dating somebody who's really work focused, but you want them to choose you and all of that stuff. And I was like, oh, for sure, I feel that. So I think that's but yeah, it got refined, but he still has a little bit, like he's a like former, he's still like, he fits my number one criteria. It was like, I want like a recovering fuck boy. Like I want a fuck boy. I want a guy who's like slept with everyone, who's like done it. And then Amy's gone.
Yeah. Amy,
no, it's, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry.
Okay. I'm back. I like wanted like a recovering fuckboy. Like I wanted someone who has like, been around the block, like been with people and like knows what he's doing in bed, and then also like one that I don't have to train because I'm not about that, and is like confident in relationship stuff. But like I have a lot of friends who are like, no, I like want a guy who's like never had a girlfriame before, and like he like was an ugly duckling and like no one thought he was cute. I'm like, you want to take the glasses off the nerd and be like, I've transformed you. I'm like, okay, for sure. I would rather
they just
not.
want like a DIY project. Like, I don't know, girl, go pick up some IKEA furniture and build it yourself.
Literally, tie-dye a jogger set. Come on. Like, do not get a new boyfriend. Ugh.
Like,
Jack is also very much into fuck boys. I'll just say that.
Dude, they're hot.
No,
they're fucking hot, though.
Yes. Okay,
no.
Yes. But the thing, it's not that they are fuckboys. That's the hot thing. It's exactly what Megan just said. It's that they're confident. They know sort of how to make you feel like seen, but then like they don't give it to you constantly. It's inconsistent rewards. Yeah. So like every time they do, it feels so like it's like a drug.
That's my fucking crack. That's literally my shit. Like I was, my number one thing was I liked, and my high school boyfriend was like this. Like if anyone would have talked to him besides his friends, be like, oh, he's such a dick, but he was so nice to me. Like I was like, you're the exception to the rule, that kind of thing. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so special. And then you're like, oh, you're just a fucking ass. Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
I grew out of that one. So you'll grow out of that one too. That part.
Yeah. I also like really like the smart boys too, but I feel like you were saying, a lot of times the smartness goes hand in hand with, I don't know, like know-it-all-iness. Because everyone wants someone who's smart. I mean, it's obvious the traits that we want, like everyone wants. So like, I don't know.
Well, what I learned though was that like my pick, I was never going to date someone who wasn't confident and wasn't smart. So I didn't have to seek that out. Like I knew I wasn't going to be attracted to someone who wasn't those things. But if they were the things that presented first in their personality, I was like, oh, you're going to be a cocky know-it-all asshole. But if I get to know you and if I trust that I'm attracted to you, I'm going to assume already you're smart. You're just don't have to be so like loud and noisy about it, which then I like learned about my boyfriend where he got like almost like a perfect score on his SATs, and I was like, oh, sick. Definitely did not do that for mine.
I think I can learn a lot from you.
How did you guys seriously me too, how did you guys meet? If you met when you were 21?
I was 21. It was right before I got my nose job, and he was my he was my manager's assistant, and I met him, and he had like he like worked in like LA management office, so he had like one of those like Britney Spears headsets, and like the first thing I said to him was like an "oops, I did it again" joke, and he was like, okay, for sure. But yeah, that's how we met. But I thought initially, and I used to have like a private Twitter, which was like such the time where I was like, oh, I tweet like things that I don't want my followers to see, which like it was just stupid shit. And so one of them was like about like meeting him for the first time, and I like immediately thought, I'm like, oh, he has to be gay. Like he's like, I thought he was so cute and like so nice. So like that was my protection. I was like, oh, he's definitely gay. And then within like an hour, I was like, oh, you're not gay at all. Like you definitely fuck women. I was like, shit. And then I didn't you.
So is he slightly older then? Because he was working when you were young?
Yeah, he's 30 now. So he's like 4 years older than that. 3.5 or 4.5 years older. Fuck, I don't remember.
It's like a perfect age gap. I want that.
Yeah. It's good. He was very hesitant though, and he didn't tell me until we started dating that he was like he didn't tell any of his friends how old I was. So this year most of his friends are turning 30, and they were like, Megan, what are you gonna do for your 30th? And I was like, I'm like 26. And they're like, what? And he was like, yeah, I didn't tell any of them because like I thought it would be weird because you were younger than us. And I was like, oh, okay. But which was nice to think about now that he was like very cognizant of the fact like, oh God, this is like a 22-year-old girl. Like I knew like 21, 22, like I know what I was like at that age. And like I definitely like wasn't where I was at, but I was also boring by that time. I was like, I'm doing nothing. I'm a YouTuber. I sit at home.
Did that age gap like ever kind of get in the way a little bit? Because it's not big, but it's not small.
I don't think so. I mean, most of my friends out here are actually, I've got probably half my friends out here are older than me, and maybe only one is younger than me, but that's it. So I think a lot of the people I hang out with tend to be like at this point, they're like kind of in their 30s in that age range. And I've always been like older for my age. So I think that worked out for us. And I definitely am like still more mature than he is, even though he's older than me, because that's just what happens. But no, I think it was, the only thing is just like some references, but I also didn't grow up with cable. So like, I don't have any good references from like childhood. So I'm like, I wouldn't know anyway.
Wow. You always find a way to just like make everything funny.
Oh my God, thanks.
Okay. Okay, so you said you were wanting to get pregnant.
Yes.
So, like, do you mean it? Like, what's the tea? Like, are you really, really ready to be a mother? Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. You sound like my boyfriend every time. Like, he'll like fake me out. He's like, okay, fine, you ready? And I was like, no, like, no, I just like think, so I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, so, like, how are we gonna like pay for college? I'm like, I don't know. No, I mean, I think like I'm like learning that it truly does happen when you get to be, I think like, yes, there's a certain age that you get to be where it's like, oh, do I like, now I really want like kids, or I want any, like, that's like, you get like your ovaries start glowing or whatever, and you're like, oh, I need a baby. But I think it's also like, once you've been dating someone for a long time and you live together and all of that, you can just see it. And to be perfectly honest, his brother just had a baby with his wife, and they live down the street, and it's the cutest baby I've ever seen. And I just like, I want to steal him, so I'm like, we should just make our own. And like, it turns out they have great genes. Like, this baby is so fucking cute, so I just like want one hanging around. And I follow too many like Mormon mommy bloggers who constantly have like babies, and I'm like, I want one so bad, but it won't happen for a while because like he will like literally refuse it. I was like, that's fair.
Do you want to like get engaged and married, or are you not that type of girl?
I mean, so I'm like a wedding type of girl. Like, I love a party, and I love like white, and I just love attention. So I feel like a wedding is like my jam.
Perfect.
Yeah, everyone talks about like, oh, I would feel so awkward like walking down the aisle with everyone staring at me, and I was like, I would not at all. Like, I literally am gonna like doves descend behind me, like I'm in my element. But I don't know. And then the only other thing that I think is like cool about marriage, I like jewelry, so I like an idea of like a rock that's pretty. And I don't currently have vision or dental insurance, and I would like that. Like, so I think that there's some parts that are really enticing. So I mean, I'd be down. And yeah, weddings are fun, so I would want to do that first. But it's weird because I think once you get to be a certain age, you have that, you're like, oh, by the time that I'm 26, like I'm gonna be in a relationship, and like we're gonna be engaged by this time, and then all of that. And I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I'm so not ready for that. But also just,
do you guys like talk about it at all, or not really?
All the time, every single day. I'm like, yesterday I kept joking. I just kept getting on. I would like pretend to pick something up, and I kept getting down on one knee and pretending to propose to him, like all day. It was like, instead of icing him, I was like, "Are you gonna marry me?" And he's like, "Yep, for sure." So we talk about it a lot, and I like will constantly like send him pictures of rings. He's like, "Is this a sign? Do you want me to do this right now?" I'm like, "No, I'm just like want you to like make sure you know what I want eventually." So. It'll happen. I'm not worried.
Could this be, like, we spoke about how you went from kind of being an OG beauty gal, and then we saw that you moved to like baking for a hot sec.
Yes.
And then this hacking thing, and then the podcast. Like, could the next step be Mormon mommy blog? Like, should we convert?
This is what I told him. I was like, do you realize what a cash cow that is? Like, do you understand how much money we could fucking make from having a baby?
It'll pay for itself. Yeah.
Literally. I was like, think of the sponsorships. Think of like the formula stuff. Like, come on. Like, they're like, they get so much money. Like, so much money. But then also like, then you also are kind of the asshole who like posts their baby everywhere. And then you see people who like put like the emoji over your baby, and you're like, oh, so you have money already. Like, you don't need more. Like, you're not going to like put like the face of your kid on here. Okay, I get it. I see you.
Like, so. You don't want to exploit your kid? What the fuck?
You're like, wow, you must be so rich that you don't need to do this. Like, that's amazing.
But I feel like if you have a whole ass baby and that takes up like 23 out of 24 of your hours, like you kind of have to, if you're a vlogger already, then you kind of have to just, you know, the baby's there. I'm pregnant. Yep. You gotta, I'm pregnant. Right. That click, that's gonna really pop off for you.
And I would want to do
I had the baby vlog.
I love that. And I would want to do my boyfriend's very says no to this, and this is probably what's holding us back. I want to have a sex reveal of the baby, and I want it to be like, if it has a penis, I want it to be like penis themed. Like, I want it all to be just genitalia focused and just like so fucking funny. I would just love that. Like, if everyone gets there being like, are we wearing blue or pink? And I just like make everyone wear like black or rainbow, and then there's just like penises hanging from trees. Like, I just love how uncomfortable that would make people, and be like, ugh. I would love it.
I feel like the people who would go to your baby shower would see that from you and not get uncomfortable. Am I wrong?
No, that's true. It would be true. I don't have any like old white people in my life who are like,
boring friends. Yeah.
No.
You gotta cut him, obviously, before the gender reveal.
Yeah. Honestly, that would be like the best YouTube video of all time, because, you know, people get shed on for their gender reveal videos, which, like, maybe they should
Like the
be
blue
getting
and the
shed on.
pink.
Yes.
And like, but that, I mean, that is unique. It is
facts.
shock value.
Yeah.
It's fact.
Yes. We
Yeah.
love a genitalia reveal. Like, like it's just amazing. Like, I just love
That's
it.
actually very forward thinking.
Yeah,
if you
because
really
I mean,
think
like,
about it.
I don't
Yeah.
know what you're gonna be, but I do know that you were born with like either a little slit or a little dingle hopper. Like, you're gonna
Holy
have
fuck.
one or the other.
Holy
Little
shit.
slit. I have to go. Okay. Oh God. Yeah, I would actually love to see you as a mommy vlogger.
Yeah.
I
Thank you so much.
also, why do I watch mommy vloggers? I watch like, you know, Colleen Ballinger.
Yes.
She's a mommy vlogger at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watch her videos and it's
just,
like,
they're so cute.
I don't want babies, but it's fun. Yeah.
They're just like so cute and fun to like watch. And also like, I also think the thing about, I prefer like how like Colleen, like I prefer people who are like, have been YouTubers before and then have a baby, like the ones where it's like their whole channel is like family friendly, but like I love someone swearing and holding an infant and just being like, this is so fucking hard. I'm like, I love that. Like I love to see that brand like evolution. I don't want like the upbeat ukulele background music that like you have with like,
No.
I don't want that kind of mommy blogger.
You don't need it.
No, not at all. I would just feel like
Yeah.
my kids would be like, once they grew up though and they like saw my YouTube channel and saw like the titles of my podcast episodes, they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what do you tell your kids? You're like, oh, my podcast, sometimes we talk about pegging. And they're like, what? Like, I'm just afraid of that part.
You know, they've got to learn at some point.
It's
so
true. It's
just
true.
Keeping the communication open.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like therapy. Free
Should we get
therapy.
into some free therapy? Should we get into some advice?
Yeah. Megan, did you get the thing I sent
I
you?
did. Let me
Okay.
pull it up.
Okay, I'm going to read the last one because it is the shortest one.
Okay,
So,
Megan, you can
guys
read
take
the
your pick.
first, and I'll read the ghost sex story because
Okay.
last or 2 episodes ago we spoke about with our friend Amelia about ghost sex because
I
I have
love
a ghost
her.
that lives in my apartment. You love Amelia Fart?
Yes.
You do know all the lesbians.
Dude, I was not kidding. I don't know how. I know everyone. I love. She's very funny.
What a niche to fall into.
My current niche of YouTube is Hot Lamode on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And then I love him. Who else was I recently watching? Well, Chris Clemens, but that's like, no, he's not a niche. He's mainstream. Chrissy Teigen knows who
Yeah.
he is. Like,
Yeah.
he's that.
True. That was
But
a whole
I-
crazy
yeah.
thing.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's when you're like really famous.
Can you? I would die. I'm not that
Yeah.
fucking cool. Okay, wait, where did this go? Okay, I found it. So I'm reading the first one.
Yep.
Please.
Okay. Hi, Jack, Amy, and guest. I'm currently in a long distance relationship, and we were only dating about a week before quarantine officially started. Bad timing, I know. I only met her twice in person, and they were both in pretty public settings, so the most we ever did was kiss a few times. Since quarantine happened, we have been FaceTiming almost every night. Our conversations are usually some banter or deep conversations, but one night it was turning into more than that. Our conversation became very hot and heavy, and I couldn't resist the urge to do something about it. I decided to mute myself when the conversation got quiet and start touching myself. Damn! The damn was me. She didn't say that. Soon after I muted myself, I realized she also muted herself. I asked her about it the next day, but she avoided the question, and we never really spoke about it again. I made a bold decision, and the next time that the conversation turned hot and heavy, I kept myself unmuted while I started to touch myself. Before I knew it, we were in the middle of having phone sex. Is it crazy that I've had phone sex with her only while kissing her in person? I feel like there's going to be a huge physical disconnect when I finally do get to see her again in person. Oh my gosh, spicy. So
Literally
spicy.
spice.
I love that.
I wouldn't it. My only thing is like, isn't it kind of weird if both of you mute yourself? Like, then what?
Yeah.
Like, then what?
Well, I
do you,
just like gotta. Yeah, then you're just silently.
Yeah, you're
looking
like,
at
should
each
I
other.
hang up? Like, are you still there? Like,
you're like, bad
like, at what
connection.
point-
Sorry.
Like, at what point do you both realize, like, oh, we're both getting off right now? Like, when, like, how long are you quiet of being like, this is happening?
I'd be like,
And also, if
are
they're
you-
like doing it so secretly,
like sign language, like.
Here we go. I'm, 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 I'm,
Yeah, I feel like. What's the muting doing? I feel.
Yeah, I mean, but they kept themselves. They were off mute last time, right? Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah. So good for you.
Yeah. I've never had phone sex like that before. So I can't imagine like if there would be, I don't know if there would be a physical disconnect. I think like maybe you
should try it. You should go into like separate rooms, FaceTime each other and see how it goes. I like something new to do.
I asked him, I was like, can I send you like a funny nude when we're in the other room? He goes, no, that's so stupid. Like I can just like walk in here and like lift your shirt up and see your boobs. And I was like, oh, fine, valid. He's like, I don't need to see a picture when you're in the other room. I was like, oh, okay. But no, maybe I should do it just for fun.
Yeah, why not?
I feel like no physical disconnect. Is there going to be a physical disconnect? I feel like no, because my favorite thing in the whole world is when it's like a slow burn and you like you kind of get a little bit, but you can't get all the way. Like that's the hottest part.
Yeah, I think it'll be exactly like that. Like I think it's like any kind of sexting before you actually sleep with someone. It like builds it's like a very, very long extended foreplay. And worst case scenario, you can just both like mutually masturbate if you're bad at doing it to each other. You clearly know how to do it to yourselves.
And it seems like you're on the exact same page. Like, you both just muted yourselves. Like it seems like compatible.
Literally the exact same moment. I want to know how a conversation goes there, you know? Like, I don't know, like, how do you slowly creep into that? I don't know. Because I'm even trying to think of, like, normal sexting. You're like, you don't really creep in. You suddenly, like, you just go from, like, being like, to being like,
yeah.
You know, sexy.
Maybe email back again. Tell us the specifics.
Yes.
Give us the transcript.
Okay, let's do the next one. So, like I was saying, there's a ghost in my apartment. He's gay. A man died in my apartment who was a gay porn producer, so I have a theory that he has a crush on me. So we were talking about that, and someone sent in this. Spooky ghost sex story, not clickbait, lol. Let me just start by saying that I have never considered sending in a story, but as soon as I heard send in your ghost sex stories, I knew I had to do it. So, this story starts a while ago, maybe 5 years ago, when I was super depressed and had sleep paralysis like all the time. You may see the direction this is going in. I don't. One thing that I think is important to add to the story is that my family is like super prone to supernatural experiences and shit like that. Like my great-great-grandma was the town healer in Mexico and shit, and her daughter, my great-grandma, used to be a healer too. Also, all of my great-grandma's daughters could see ghosts. I'm assuming I have some magical powers, but on the low. Anyway, I believe I'm prone to ghost shit or whatever. So one night I was asleep, and that was fine, until I woke up being penetrated in the ass by a ghost. Oh my. Oh. Now I like to think that it was only a ghost because any other entity would be too scary. Ew, yeah. I'm sure it was a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, I literally woke up and I could not move and I didn't want to open my eyes because, I mean, if you had sleep paralysis, you know how scary that can get. My bed frame at the time was really creaky, and I kid you not, I could hear it, like, creaking as the ghost was going in and out of me. Sorry.
The way this is written.
Yeah.
This is the transcript.
This is the porn producer.
Yeah.
This is
your ghost. It's my ghost.
Oh my
Sending it in.
Jack, did you write this?
Jack, do you have something to tell us?
I contemplated what was happening for a second and decided there was only one thing to do. I decided to just go with it, and it was pretty hot, I guess. Some parts of me thinks it was an alien or something, because sometimes when I get really stoned, I feel like aliens are trying to communicate with me. Maybe I was just really horny. I don't know, but there are plenty of scary possibilities considering I was depressed, and when you're depressed, your vibration is lower, and apparently entities and demons can reach you more easily. Anyway, love the show. 5 out of 5 heart.
I didn't know that about depression.
Me neither. Why have I never been fucked by a ghost? I'm always depressed. Like that.
Yeah, me too.
Like what the? Now I'm offended. Holy shit.
I mean, there's no advice. I think that's just a story. But
yeah. And like ghosts still don't ask for consent. Like that's so fucked up. Like,
well, how would they ask?
I don't know, because if a ghost can like be in like inside you, couldn't they like tap you on the shoulder and like mirror it or like whatever like something
like the FaceTime thing again. FaceTime again.
Yeah. So like why not?
That's a good point. Although, I mean, ghosts like are from like who even knows what year? So like, did they even know about consent until like 2012?
2019 is probably when they learned about everyone started learning about it.
Yeah. Have men ever learned consent? Like TBH?
No, they don't know what that means. They're like, I'm so sorry, I don't speak that language.
Yeah.
Ugh. So people get fucked by ghosts? Like that's a real thing? I mean, it's like a ghost thing, but like that's like a thing that ghosts
what
do.
Amelia was saying.
So is it good though? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Amelia,
that's what we asked.
Amelia said that it was her family member's ghost was like of their partner who died, and that it was like really good.
So, but it wasn't like someone in her family. Like it wasn't like ghost incest.
No, it was like someone in Amelia's family's like husband.
Oh, adultery. That's so crazy.
No. They were
ghost?
together. No.
Her husband's ghost.
Oh, her husband's ghost fucked her. Her like
yes.
her ghost. Oh, okay. I thought it was like her like sister's, the ghost of her like sister's husband fucked her, and I was like, oh my god, that's like very dramatic. It's already, if it wasn't already crazy enough, it's like ghost cheating.
Ghost cheating.
That's so fucked. I feel like it'd be good though. I don't know why. Like that's what my mind is telling me, that it would be good. Like I don't know why.
If you're open to it now,
try it.
Is that cheating? Yeah. Is that cheating? Like, would you have to ask your boyfriend if you can consent to ghost sex?
I feel like you wouldn't need. I feel like I would just not. I mean, I'm too afraid, but also like I feel like I was gonna say it's like an open invitation because I'm depressed, but then that just the visual of the open invitation of me like sleeping in a ghost and be like, come inside, ew.
Oh my
God. That's just like, it's just too weird to me. Like it's just too odd. I clearly have something ghosts aren't into because like my vibration is like, I don't even know if I have one. Like it's like maybe I don't even have a vibration.
Well, maybe it's a Leo thing because I know water signs are more like in touch with ghost shit. So maybe that's something to do with it. Oh,
yeah. I'm not in touch with ghost shit at all. I'm afraid of the dark too, though. So I don't think I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it'd be terrifying.
Well, thank you for that
should I read the last one?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you ended up having a good time. Okay. I work at a bank, and my co-worker and I have gotten really close the past few weeks, and we expressed our feelings for each other. The problem, though, she has a boyfriend who works for the same bank, but at a different branch. That's good. I've met him before, and he's super nice, but there is something special between her and I. We kissed the other day after work in her car, and it was just wow. We both can't stop thinking about it, but her boyfriend is still in the picture, and I'm starting to really care for this girl. She says she's never felt this way about another female before. Oh, okay, it's gay. I get it. And she is confused. I really don't want anyone to get hurt, but I just can't help myself when I'm around her. Next time I get a chance, I will kiss her again.
Whoa.
Ooh, homewrecker.
Yeah.
I feel like she should break up with her boyfriend if she's never felt that way.
Yeah.
Hello.
This must be hard,
like
especially during quarantine, though, because like now you will not be working together anymore. So like,
are banks an essential business though?
Yeah, they are, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. So this could be.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm scared.
She needs to break up with her boyfriend. You should be like, I can't kiss you until you break up with your boyfriend. Right?
Yeah. I just don't be a homewrecker.
Fair.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just don't be a home. Like, and also like, what if.
Be a hoe.
Yeah, be a hoe, but don't be a homewrecker. And also, if it happens once, then you can be like, well, you already knew she had a boyfriend, but you can play dumb. But if you keep playing dumb and you're like, well, I had no idea, then ooh, icky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's saying, I will do it again. So, I don't know. She doesn't seem affected by the boyfriend.
No.
Yeah. Or maybe she should like tell her boyfriend, and then maybe he'd be like, okay, go explore.
Oh, the girlfriend tell her boyfriend. I was like, this other girl at the bank, just be like, yo, I've been making out with your girlfriend.
No. No, don't do that.
Yeah, maybe he'd
Get
be
involved
into it.
like that. Yeah.
True. Maybe.
Open relationship.
Yeah.
Try it.
Sweet. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your emails. Make sure to email dating straight. That's dating STR and the letter 8 at gmail.com. Send us your confessions.
Number 8.
And advice questions. Did I say something wrong?
I said number, you said letter.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I do that all the time.
So yeah, Megan, I expect you to send in an anonymous confession. We won't tell that it's you, but I'm sure that you have some crazy stories that can be shared.
I've done some stupid shit.
Okay, well, actually, while we're doing this, so what we usually do is we have our guests say a haiku at the end of each episode. So maybe confess something in haiku format if you can.
It's 575.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really hitting me because I always have said that when I was growing up, if I was like, either I'm going to like go to school for acting and be an actor. I mean, I thought I was going to drop out, but I was like, I'm either going to be an actor or a poet. And now I'm like, well, fuck.
Well, here you go.
Shit. It's 5 syllables, 575, 7.
Yeah.
575.
Don't think too hard about it. It's like,
Yeah,
if you
just,
end
like,
up,
let it come to you.
yeah.
It's my confession in a haiku.
Yeah.
Please, if you could.
Oh my God, I did not take my Adderall. No, did I take my Adderall today? I don't know. That's probably
Did
no.
I take my
It can be about Adderall.
today?
Yeah.
That's 8. Did I take my Adderall? It's my middle line. And then
Okay.
happy, what day's today? Oh no.
Tuesday.
Quarantine. A quarantine.
Okay.
Did I take my Adderall today?
Ghost sex. Yeah.
Would fuck a ghost. Consent, please. I didn't send a stanza. I did a sonnet.
That was really good. Thank you so much for coming on Dating Straight.
Yeah, you should definitely put this in your book. Do you want to,
Yes.
plug your book one more time or whatever you want to plug?
Yes, if anyone wants to get my book, it's called You're Not Special. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get your pamphlet on Amazon. And it's also like wherever you want to get a book. I also read the audiobook. And I also have a podcast called Don't Blame Me. And you guys should totally come on once Miss Rona is over and we have guests back on. And all we do on that is give advice. So it's a good time. And it's
awesome.
Lots of
thank you so much for
questionable
coming
stuff.
on.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for listening. I'm Amy Oddman.
I'm Jack Dodge, and this is Dating Straight.
See you next Tuesday.
We could be broken-hearted lovers.